Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Biology Lights. And in this session, we are going to talk about breathing. Energy is obtained from food by a process called -A. Energy is obtained from a food by a process called respiration. The intake of oxygen and output of carbon dioxide at the respiratory surface is called -B. The intake of oxygen and output of carbon dioxide at a respiratory surface is called gaseous exchange. The process of renewing air in the lungs is called -C. The process of renewing air in the lungs is called ventilation. Which of the following processes, respiration, gaseous exchange, and ventilation, are included in the term breathing? The processes gaseous exchange and ventilation are included in the term breathing. Name, in the correct order, the structures that incoming air would pass through between the nasal cavity and the alveolus. From the nasal cavity, the air would pass through the pharynx, glottis, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles to reach the alveoli. What is the function of the rings of cartilage in the respiratory passage? The cartilage rings hold the air passages open. Using the words cilia and mucus, describe very briefly how the body gets rid of dust which enters the lungs. The lining of the air passages produces mucus which traps dust particles. Cilia in the lining flick to and fro to carry the mucus up and out of the passages. Which of the following is correct? When we inhale, part A, our intercostal muscles contract and our ribs move down. Part B, our diaphragm muscles contract and the ribs move up. Part C, our diaphragm muscles contract and the ribs move down. Part D, our intercostal muscles contract and the diaphragm muscles relax. It's B. When we inhale, our diaphragm muscles contract and the ribs move up. In what two ways will the composition of blood coming from the pulmonary artery differ from that going to the pulmonary vein? Blood in the pulmonary artery will contain less oxygen and more carbon dioxide than blood in the pulmonary vein. The percentage of oxygen absorbed from the air in the lungs is always about the same. So how can the oxygen supply to the blood be increased during vigorous activity? Breathing becomes deeper and more rapid, thus exposing the capillaries to a greater volume of air in a given time. Inhaled air contains about 21% oxygen. What is the approximate percentage concentration of oxygen in exhaled air? Exhaled air contains approximately 16% oxygen. Which of the terms, 1. Vital capacity, 2. Tidal volume, 3. Residue air, could reasonably apply to each of the volumes given below? Part A, 500 cubic centimeters. Part B, 5,000 cubic centimeters. And Part C, 1,000 cubic centimeters. Part 1, vital capacity corresponds to 5,000 cubic centimeters. Part 2, tidal volume corresponds to 500 cubic centimeters. And Part 3, residue air corresponds to 1,000 cubic centimeters. State 4 characteristics of an efficient respiratory surface. Four characteristics of an efficient respiratory surface are thin epithelium, large surface area, abundant capillaries, and ventilation mechanism. What process causes oxygen to pass from the alveoli into the lung capillaries? Diffusion is the process by which oxygen passes from the alveoli to the lung capillaries. Which of the following diseases are unlikely to be caused by smoking? A. Lung cancer. B. Tuberculosis. C. Bronchitis. D. Colds. E. Heart attacks. Tuberculosis and D. Colds are unlikely to be caused by smoking. Hello friends, thank you very much for participating in Biology Lights. I encourage you to subscribe.